Jai Gurudev. Jai Masters. A very, very important point is where your spiritual life and your worldly life, your everyday life, where they meet. Traditionally, they're separate. You go to church on Sunday, you go to synagogue Friday night, you put aside some time for meditation, you do some yoga. That's like your spiritual time. And then you go to work, and you have your family, and you earn a living, and you do whatever you do. That separation is not spiritual. It's tremendously artificial, and it will never bear fruits. Let's talk about real spirituality and how it integrates with your life. First of all, what is the purpose, the goal of spirituality? There is a state called liberation. Very few understand it. It's just a word, liberation. But there is a state of liberation. What does that mean? It means you're free. Free from the world? No. Free from what's causing you trouble. Well, that's the world. It's my wife, it's my husband, it's the kids, it's the money, it's this, it's the politics. These are the things that are causing me trouble. No, it's not true. That's the starting place. That's not true. Let's say you're deathly afraid of ants. Then ants are causing you trouble. They ruin your life. No, it's not that ants are causing you trouble. It's that you're having trouble with ants. It's something you're doing inside yourself. You're welcome to do it for anything you want. You can do it for ants. You can do it for a particular behavior pattern of your spouse. You can do it for the traffic you're driving in. If you want to, you can do it because Saturn has rings. Just go ahead, get weird. March up and down the street. This is terrible. I don't like the rings of Saturn. If you want, anything can disturb you. How? By being disturbed by it. That's different than sitting there saying, the thing is disturbing me. The thing is not disturbing you. It's just a thing. There are things out there, and you see them. If you didn't see it, it wouldn't disturb you, would it? If you weren't looking at it, you never saw it. You're not going to say it disturbs you. If you never saw an ant, it doesn't disturb you. And if you don't see any ants, it probably doesn't disturb you. But if you see an ant, that's the end of it. You don't understand. You're doing that. The ant is not doing that. Your wife is not doing that. Your husband's not doing that. The kids are not doing that. The finances aren't doing that. Your boss is not doing that. Those are things outside. Bosses, spouses, children, finances, etc. They're part of the world. The world unfolds, and it expresses itself in many, many different ways. The problem is that when that world, which is expressing itself in the myriad ways that it does, comes in through your senses, some of it is fine with you. Some of it is boring. You couldn't care less, like the white lines on the road. And some of it you can't handle. Some of it, for some reason, freaks you out. Causes emotions, mental thoughts, and you get weird. How's that? So instead of sitting there saying, I'm going to devote my life to not having those things happen, I'm going to devote my life to creating and finding situations that when they come in, they feel good, that's classified as a worldly life. It's a worldly life. Why? Because you've said, my life is about the world. That's why it's a worldly life. My life is about only being around people I like. My life is all around never being talked to that I don't want to be talked to. My life is about always blah, 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 blah. My life is about finding what makes me feel good and avoiding what makes me not feel good. All right, then that's a worldly life. It doesn't have anything to do with money or anything like that. It has to do with the fact that I have devoted my life to the moments that are in front of me, to making them be a way that when they come in, they don't feel bad and perhaps they feel good. That's the important point. The moments do not feel good or feel bad. They're just moments. They're coming and going. They're all over the place. There's 700 billion zillion moments going on at the same time. They're not bothering you. Only the one in front of you. If it's in front of you and it comes in, for some reason, it bothers you. But what bothers you doesn't bother her. What bothers you today didn't bother you a week ago. So it's not that the thing is bothersome. It is that when it comes into you, somehow you decide to be bothered or to feel good about it. It is not events that are bothering you or not bothering you. They are just events. The Buddhists say the tens of thousands of things. That was early when the third Zen patriarch wrote that, who knows, 500 AD or whatever it was. There are way more than tens of thousands of things. That was just a number he threw out. I don't know how to count how many things there are. But there are lots of things. They are just what they are. They're neither good nor bad, nor right nor wrong, nor pleasant nor not pleasant. They just are what they are. Now, when they come in, I shouldn't say pleasant or not pleasant, because certainly physically things can be pleasant or not pleasant. But again, even that, it's what you do with it. There are people playing a sport, say volleyball. They go up to block the ball, and they get a little black and blue mark there. Some of them don't pay any attention to it. They just give, come on. Someone goes, I don't want to play with them. It's the same exact black and blue mark. So again, it comes down to, it's not the event. It's not what's happening out there. It's what you do with it when it comes inside of you. That is not the event doing that. It's you doing that. So if you're having trouble, I'm telling you, and this is terrible for you to hear, you did it. You're the doer in there. There's nobody else in there. And trouble is the fact that something came in that you don't like. I'm telling you, anything you pick, just pick that someone steals your car. It's a brand new car. And somehow you go out there, there's a Lamborghini or something, right? You saved a long time for it. And you go out there and it's gone. It just vanished. It's gone. Is that a bad experience or a good experience? Well, it kind of depends. On what? You had a dream last night. A real spiritual dream. It really hit you very deep. As deep as, any dream you ever had. And in that dream, God himself with the angels and Christ and Buddha and everybody showed up and came down and stood there and said, we're testing you. You are going to get this beautiful car, and in order to liberate you and free you to where you can live in a state of absolute ecstasy and bliss for the rest of your life, we're going to steal the car. And it's going to disappear. Do you understand what would happen to you if you had that dream and you walk out there and that car's gone? You go into ecstasy. Oh my God, it was real. Come on, bring it on. It is not the event. Ever. Ever. Things are things. They are events that happen in the universe. They have reasons. They have causes. I love when you sit there, why? Why did that have to happen? All right? Believe it or not, there's an answer. The answer is, ready? It's really very simple. Because of every event that preceded it that made it be that way. Things are because they are. There's a line in the Gita that's really beautiful. It says, that which is will be, that which is not will not be. What's so hard about that? It's raining. Yep. She's in a bad mood. Yep. It's just there's a world out there. And there's billions and billions and billions of forces passing through time and space that are interacting together to cause it to be the way it is. It's not complicated. I wish you didn't think about karma, sins, attracting things to yourself. I don't want you getting into any of that stuff. I want you to be spiritual scientists. Now, many of the great gurus, Yukteswar, Yogananda's guru, he's a scientist. He has a scientific mind. He would love what they're finding now with quantum physics and all this stuff. What does it mean? Things are the way they are because of the forces that cause them to be that way. Now, we'll come back to some karma and some stuff like that afterwards, but understand that's the right way to look at it. Why? Because that's what it is. So things are unfolding. Yes, could there be divine intervention? Of course, something can happen. 99.9999999% of what's going on is because of all the forces that cause it to be that way. And if you studied enough, you'd find out why. You find out why it's raining. You find out why you're not tall enough. You find out why. You find out what her brother did to her when she was young and why she doesn't like when you do certain things. You'll find out. It's just cause and effect passing through time and space. There's nothing magic to it. Let's go to school. As I said, this difference between spirituality and your life. If you're going to school, every course you take is spiritual. Every course you take is explaining to you why things are the way they are. Whether it be sociology or psychology or physics or chemistry, they're telling you why things are the way they are. Good, I don't have to ask why anymore. I went to school. But somehow it doesn't hit you that way because you take everything personal. The whole thing is impersonal. It's just forces interacting together to cause the world to unfold in front of you. How's that for a state? Has nothing to do with you. Very little, like 0.00001 rounds to zero. about how much influence you're having. No, if I raised my voice and he got upset and he went out, I caused that. Really? You don't know his background, the fact that he ate the wrong thing last night. There are 700 billion reasons that people react the way they do to what you did. You're not as important as you think you are. That's how I like to look at it. Take this giant, giant vat that's filled with paint of, mixed together various colors, and walk up to it with a tweezer and drop a drop of blue into it. There. That's your influence. It's just big, and it's been going on for 13.8 billion years. I always at this point, I know you get tired of me. I always sit there, I know I can get through to you. So I sit there and say, if your great-great-grandmother did not meet your great-great-grandfather, you're not here. Any question about that? That goes for everything. Everything. For 13.8 billion years. Now tell me how personal it is. It is not personal at all. That's what's going on out there. Then why, when it comes in, do some things freak me out, some things turn me on, and some things are just ho-hum boring? Because of you, not because of them. Because what has happened is, over the course of your life, you have stored events from the past. Instead of letting them go and experience the next moment, you saw a beautiful butterfly and it landed on your arm and everybody was impressed. The butterfly whisperer. Another one came down, right? It was unbelievable. And you really were, oh, what a beautiful experience. When that was over, it wasn't over for you. You thought about it all the time. You kept going back to the place and bringing people to see if it happened again. It has now made an impression on you. So you are no longer here now. You're there then. And the same thing happens if you were 5 or 6 years old and something happened to you, traumatic, not nice, whatever, a car accident. It's still in there. You're still bothered by it. Every time you hear a screeching car, you get all freaked out. In fact, you don't even have a driver's license. I ain't driving. I'm a bike person. And you make believe it's for environmental purposes. No, it's not. You're weird inside. Let me ask you a question. Are you weird inside? You better say yes, right? It is weird in there. You don't even know what's going to come up, do you? Right? You think you're doing fine. I think I'm flying up there. You've stored stuff. You didn't let it go. You didn't let it be. It just was. Saturn has rings. It rained on my birthday. My party was canceled. Somebody broke up with me. Yes, it doesn't feel good when it comes in. But you have to keep it. You have to keep the fact that in high school somebody broke up with you or dumped you or did something like that. It's an experience. It's the world unfolded that way. Why? I told you why. For 7 billion reasons that all interacted together, and then you said something. It was very little to do with you, ever. It just has to do with the sum total of all the influences and forces that cause things to be the way they are. But it wasn't comfortable when it came in. The vibration was heavy. Somebody yelled at you, you fired, whatever it is. Things can have heavy vibrations. The vibration of the event is unique to the event, and not only does the physical event come through your senses, but the vibration comes in too. So some things are more scary, and things are more pleasant. Fine, that's wonderful. That's variety is the spice of life. The problem is you can't handle it. You can handle the nice ones. By the way, not all of you can handle the nice ones. You just went through a terrible relationship. You got divorced. It was ugly as could be. And all of a sudden, this person of your dreams shows up. But I'm not ready for a relationship. This is freaking me out. Come on. Even positive ones can freak you out. Yes or no? The point is, you can't handle the vibration when it comes in. And because you can't handle it when it comes in, you suppress it, cling to it. The good ones you cling to, you want it to happen again. The ones you didn't like, which is most of them, you push it down into a Freudian suppression or repression or whatever. The point is, it didn't go away. You stored it. It stayed inside of you. In a nutshell, that's why now, when events come in through your senses, they cause these reactions inside. They cause these emotions. They cause this not liking and freaking out and fear or passionate desires. It's because they hit your stuff. How's that? They hit the stuff you stored. And if what you stored was pleasant, all of a sudden you want it. Oh my God, I like this, the perfect person. It's like, okay, it's hilarious. Or, I can't handle this. No, I want to leave. I want to leave. I don't like this party. You don't know why you don't like it. I want to leave. Are we leaving? You said you love me. Are we leaving? You're so cute. It's like, wow. You go have your hair done, and they show you in the mirror. Oh, no, that's not what I had in mind. It's a little short over here, right? Somebody else says, oh, my God, it's beautiful. It's short over here. I didn't think about having that. Thank you so much. What's making that difference? Something you saw in a magazine, somebody you didn't like in high school. You just have these impressions inside that you stored inside your heart and inside your mind. And now when events come in, they cause them to stimulate and to come up. Now not only is it weird inside, you're weird outside. Are you weird outside? Okay? Let somebody say one word. No, that's not true what you said. Why, this so all this defensiveness comes flying out. It's hilarious. I heard George say that Mary said that Sally said that they met somebody who didn't like you, but they're not sure who it was. How you feeling? That's called being weird. But it's true, isn't it? You have to own this. How did I get into this discussion? Because I was going to describe liberation for you. That spirituality is about liberation. You know what liberation is? That is not running your life. Not that it's not there, but it's not running your life. If you've stored some stuff, it's going to be there for a while. You can let it go. It doesn't have to stay in there. But while it's in there, if you just got divorced and her name was Mary, and someone goes, hey, Mary, you it's a little scared. It's not the same Mary. It doesn't matter until you find out. So you have impressions in there. You were silly to store them. That's my philosophy. I have a very simple philosophy. Events unfold, you experience them, then the next one unfolds. Why would you store the old one? It's over. What do you want to do that for? Watch a TV show. As the pixels go by, they're gone. Would you like to store them and have them there so you're watching the news, you're seeing the movie, right on top of each other, superimposed? That's what's happening inside of you right now. Have somebody say something you don't like for the next 4 people you meet. You're not there. You're not listening to what they say. You're only thinking about what the person says you don't like. It's almost as if the person stood there every minute saying, I don't like it. I don't like it. You shouldn't do that. It's not supposed to be like that. You're supposed to let go. You're supposed to be able to handle the different vibrations of life. You experience them. You learn from them. And then you release them. You don't store them inside of you with all your emotions and feelings and all that garbage so that you're a walking time bomb. That's why you're a walking time bomb. That's why you get angry. That's why you get jealous. That's why you get insecure. Every single human emotion is from that. The only primal emotions, what does that mean? Somebody hits a drum, it sounds a certain way. That's primal. Somebody hits a drum and it sounds a certain way and it reminds you of when your brother used to play the drum and he died and he started crying. So he played it. That's not primal. That's a secondary reaction. Do you see the difference? You want to get down to primal. You want to be able to experience things real. Be in the moment. Be in the moment, experience it. But you can't because the moment hits your stuff. Liberation means that doesn't happen. Now it gets subtle. Does it mean I don't have any stuff? You're going to be around for a long time till you don't have any stuff. Let me tell you that right now. Don't think your therapist is going to get you there because they won't. There's a lot of stuff in there. You don't want to do that. You don't want to work these things through one at a time. Thank God. You know, you have to go down there fishing and find it. Oh, how do I handle this? No, that's not your job. Your job, your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to be able to handle the different vibrations that come up inside of you. So now the world unfolds. Somebody plays the drum. You're listening to the drum, and all of a sudden they hit a certain way, and it reminds you of how your brother used to play the drum. So now there's going to be this secondary reaction. It's very emotional, the secondary reactions, because that's why you stored it, going uncomfortable. Can you handle that? That's what matters. Can you handle that thing got hit? What does it mean to handle it? Well, can you handle that the sun came up this morning? Can you handle that there are white lines in the road? Can you handle that it went from solid to dotted to dash? In other words, you saw it. You experienced it. You didn't have to do anything. That's what it means to handle it. You don't have to do anything about it. If, however, it hits your stuff, there's going to be this tendency to do something about it. You couldn't handle it when it happened. That's why you stored it. And you can't handle it now. Psychology will tell you when you're 5 years old, they take your blankie away. When you're 55, you can't handle the sight of a blanket. That's that color. Spirituality says, you don't have to have that crap going on in there. There's not a reason in the world that's going on in there, and it's ruining your life. Now you can't do blankets. Now you can't hear the name Mary. Now you can't listen to the drums. You got all this stuff, soft spots. And even when it's not happening, if you think it might happen, it bothers you. That's why I say we're weird. All right, liberation means I have done the work on myself, and I will discuss with you what that means. I have done the work on myself where I'm present, I'm mindful, I'm centered, I'm clear. Who is? All that stuff down there? No, that's not centered, it's not clear, and it's not mindful. I, the consciousness, the one who notices that this stuff goes on inside of me. If you come to me and say, you don't understand, I'm just so jealous. I don't know why I've always been that way ever since I was little. Any friends I had, anything, and it's ruining my relationships. I'm not going to help you with your jealousy. I'm going to ask you, how do you know? How do I know what? How do you know that that's going on inside of you? I don't know it. I'm looking, I don't see it. How do you know there's jealousy in there? How do you know there's fear in there? How do you know there's anxiety in there? How do you know there's need in there? How do you know? And you're going to eventually look at me and say, because I'm in here, stupid. And I feel it. I see it. I experience it. That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about you who experiences it. I'm not talking about what you experience. There's a distinction. You're not jealous. You're experiencing jealousy. You're noticing, oh my God, since he left me, my heart hurts so much. How do you know? I'm in here. I can see it. Who are you? Who are you that sees it? And now go back to what I was talking. Can you who sees it handle what you see? Can you handle the white lines? You say, of course I can handle the white lines. Can you handle the hurt heart? Can you handle the noisy mind? Can you handle the jealousy? Can you handle the insecurity? Can you handle you into a restaurant and there's supposed to be 5 friends with you. You reserved a place and either you got the time wrong or there's, I don't know, but there's nobody else there. And you're sitting at that table by yourself and there's all your peers and people, all, and they think, you feel self-conscious. Come on, admit it. Right? You feel a little weird. You feel like, oh, how do you know that you feel that way? Because I'm a conscious being, and before I walked in the restaurant, this wasn't going on inside of me. Now it is going on inside of me. Good. Can you stay centered in the face of that? Can you stay centered and clear and just say, the world unfolds. I have stuff. I've been rejected various times in my life, whatever the heck it is. And this hit my stuff. But here I am, noticing it. Maybe I'll do my mantra. Maybe I'll breathe a little bit. Maybe I'll play with my phone. Whatever it is. I'm not going to be self-conscious. Is there self-consciousness? Yeah, I see it very well. But I don't have to be self-conscious. If I sit there and hold up a red card, I say, do you see this? Yes. What color is it? Red. Does that mean you're red? Are you red or is the card red? You who sees it didn't change. Red, blue, green, orange. The card changed. Jealousy, insecurity, anger, fear. So there's just emotions. But in any event, things are coming up from your heart. And you can't handle it. Admit it. You can't handle it. Yeah, I know you can't handle it. You do every single thing you can every moment of your life to make sure it doesn't happen. You dress, you talk a certain way, you buy a certain car, you present yourself a certain way so you don't get rejected. You make sure you're not the first one to be there. It's fashionable to be late. No, you just don't want to sit there alone. You don't realize you spend your whole life trying to make sure the things that would bother you don't happen. In other words, you devoted your life to the fact that you can't handle these things. Spirituality says, why don't we get a little higher and realize I'm the one who's experiencing it? Okay, that's a starting point. Because I'm the one that's experiencing it, I'm not it, it's something I'm experiencing. Now there's something I can do about it. And I'm telling you, the highest thing you can do about it is handle it. Not get rid of it, not make somebody say they're sorry. The ability to handle anything that can come up inside of you. Your heart can go from alpha to omega, can't it? It can go really down low, it can go really up high. You boom. Can you handle it? Not how do I get it high and never have it go low. That's worldly. That's devoting your life to manipulating the world so that when it comes in, it hits you the way you want to be hit. Much higher than that and much more successful than that is to say, hey, I'm in here. This is going on inside of me. It's cool. I can handle it. She said something to me, hurt my heart. Ain't the first time. Been there, done that. And you're centered. You're clear. Yes, I now have a hurt heart. Okay, fine. Let's go to work. How do I deal with the fact that this is what's going on and I can handle it? That's the key. That's liberation. That's the start of liberation. Not full enlightenment, but that's the start of liberation. That I am Shivan Mukta. I'm a liberated being. What does that mean? I am sitting in here, and what goes on down there where I store all this garbage is not pulling me into it. It can still be there. Somebody once asked one of the greatest masters ever walked the face of the earth, fully enlightened master, Ramakrishna, does an enlightened being, a saint, ever feel anger? You know what he said? Yes. He said, but it's like riding on water. How long does it last? You can't even see it. It's just it's a natural thing. Can happen, right? Something hits your stuff, phew, gone. Just passes right through. All right? That's how you learn to work with yourself. Yes, there's stuff in here. Yes, there's been bad experiences. And unfortunately, I wasn't mature enough, evolved enough is the right word, at the time to let it go. Why do I want to make a storehouse of the things that bothered me? I should collect stamps instead. Don't collect bad experiences. Do you collect bad experiences? You certainly do. Every single one of them. If somebody doesn't say hello to you, or somebody says that you're a little spat with a friend of yours, watch what happens next time you see them. You might not want to see them. You might avoid. If you notice them calling on your caller ID, you don't pick up the phone. Holy mackerel. One tiny little thing. You can't handle it. You've been friends with the person for years. How long does it take you to be okay? A long time. Because every time you see them, they'll do it again. I can't trust them. I used to trust them. What does that mean? Trust them. I trust that they'll be the way I need them to be for me to be okay. You got it straight? Very personal. I trusted you. I can't believe you did that. I trusted you. I have stuff inside of me, and you may not have known or realized that, but you stepped on it. You hit it. And I trusted you. I told you you're weird, didn't I? All right? It's weird. So you wake up and you realize what liberation means is you don't have to go out there and make the world be a certain way so you can be okay. You can sit in here and say, yes, psychology is right. This is the sum of my learned experiences. That's what's going on inside of me. It's not me. I'm noticing that that's what's going on. Can I handle it? Can I handle it? And you start working on yourself to where the answer is yes. No matter what goes on, I'm okay. In here, me in here, I'm okay. I'm cool, centered, clear, can make good decisions, even though this is a little bit weird down there. And you can reach a state, it's called becoming centered in the seat of self, established in the seat of self, I like to use, where I'm telling you, you never leave. And you get to the place, there's no effort, just like how hard is it for you to see? How hard is it for you to see the room? That's how hard it is for you to stay completely centered at all times. Nothing will ever throw you away from there again if you're able to handle what goes on inside of you. Because the only thing the outside can do is cause something to happen inside of you. And if you can handle it, you're free. That's a form of freedom. Do you worry about the future? Of course not. Why? I can handle it. What's going to happen? I don't know. Because you don't. I just know it'll be fun. Why? Because it's fun. Everything's fun. Well, what happens if something happens and it gets uncomfortable inside? That's fun. That's how it should be. That's fun. You know how you're getting there? When no one has to say they're sorry. No one has to behave a certain way. It's fun when they happen to behave a way that makes you feel good. And it's more fun when they happen to behave in a way that makes you get weird inside. It's like going to a house of horrors. People go to movies that are horrors. Learn to enjoy what goes on inside of you. Sounds impossible, doesn't it? It's not. And the day you are able to look down there, because it's down from where you are, you look down and say, bring it on. Bring it on. Let's say your heart starts to hurt. Right now you freak out. What do I do? Who do I talk to? How do I, blah, blah, blah. What if when your heart starts to hurt, you look at your heart and say, oh, is that the best you can do? Come on, hit me with your best shot. You're free. That's freedom. Freedom is not freedom to do what you want and get what you want. It's freedom from yourself. It's freedom to be free inside. And what you're going to find is if you work on that and you do that, you're going to see that what's happening is because you can't handle it, it distracts you. It pulls you into it. You become all enmeshed in it, right? Like when you watch TV and get sucked in, you're getting sucked into your stuff. And then you're not present and life is tough and you're having all kinds of problems. That's your world. There you are. If you don't get sucked into it, doesn't mean it doesn't happen, but you don't get sucked into it, you're able to not get distracted by it. Right? Like some people don't like the wind. Some people don't like snakes. I can't walk out there. There could be a snake. If you can handle it, fine. So the little uncomfortable with some snake, fine, you be comfortable. If it doesn't distract you from your seat of consciousness, what liberation means is your consciousness is free to naturally expand and explore way beyond this garbage that's inside of you. What a human being is pure consciousness, paying attention, more than attention, being addicted and completely distracted by the noise that is going on inside your head and your heart. And so the consciousness can't expand beyond you. That's ego. If it doesn't get distracted, now start reading what the great masters have told you, including Christ and Buddha. If it doesn't get distracted, you're going to find out you're not who you thought you were. You are not limited to your emotions and your mind. If you're sitting and watching a TV show and it is so enthralling to you that if I call your name, you don't answer, your kids are crying, you don't answer, it can happen, can't it? Your consciousness gets sucked into what you're distracted by. What happens when the commercial comes on? You're free. You hear the kids crying. You get up. That's liberation. That's exactly what happens. That's what Buddhists call satori. Just all of a sudden, you're not distracted by yourself. What happens? The consciousness is not pulled down to the limit of yourself. And it expands naturally, because it naturally is expanded. I don't like to say it expands. It doesn't contract. You're not expanding your consciousness. If you're sitting there staring at the TV, I'm going to sit there and say, expand your consciousness. There's a whole world out there. I'm going to say, stop staring at the TV. If you stop staring at the TV, instantaneously there's a room, there's windows, there's outside, right or wrong. That's why they say, you know how long enlightenment takes? That's why. It's not a matter of going somewheres or doing something. It's ceasing to be distracted by yourself. Be distracted by what's going on in your heart and what's going on in your mind. So if you let go, you become liberated. And liberation has many stages. One is the first one, which is I'm able to sit here even though the garbage is going on inside. All right? And the second is if I let go enough, first of all, if you let go enough, you can find the garbage goes away. Why? You're the one who's holding it in there. When it ceases to bother you, you will not hold it in there. When you no longer hold it in there, it will not be in there. There's no super glue inside of you. There's nothing keeping that inside except you. When it comes back up, you push it back down because you don't want to handle it. That whole thing, handle, is a very deep spiritual word. So if you're able and you learn to stay beyond it, transcendent to it, those are the words we use, above it, so that when it happens, it doesn't pull you away from yourself, it leaves. And all of a sudden, you become a much happier person. Instead of feeling fears and anxieties and jealousies and needs and all that kind of stuff, you free yourself of those blockages, and all of a sudden, all this energy inside of you that used to go into anger and insecurity and this and manipulation, you spend a lot of energy with that stuff. It's now free. And it starts to flow up. It starts flowing up. The more open you are, the more all this Shakti, Chi, call it what you want, starts flowing up inside of you. And it becomes so strong that it's stronger than any other experience you can have. It's stronger than the experience of your heart. Love doesn't come through your heart. Love makes it through your mind, and if your heart is open, it goes out through your heart. That's why you feel it in your heart. If your heart closed, you don't feel it. It's still there. The sun is always there, even though a cloud goes across it. Love comes from self. Love is one of the forces of your true being. In India, they say the nature of soul is Satchidananda, eternal conscious ecstasy. As you let go of yourself and your consciousness is able to free itself from staring at yourself, it starts to feel the nature of itself. And it literally starts to feel ecstasy. Yogananda once said, there's a river of joy that flows inside of you. Find it, go there, get in, and drown. That's yoga. That's the high states. So that's inside of you all the time. But you are taking all that beautiful energy and you're using it to manipulate the world and people, places, and things to try to get them so that when they come in, they don't hit your stuff bad and they hit the good stuff. You can't get anywhere that way. It's so hilarious. All right? You will never, ever get it the way you want. Nobody ever has. And if you do, you won't want it anymore. And so you basically wake up and realize your work is learning to handle yourself. Not everybody else. If you can handle these different things that come up inside and let go as they come up, you will liberate yourself. You will free your soul, free your Atman, free yourself. And as you free yourself, you will start to feel this energy. It's called the transmutation of energy. Big words. The transmutation of energy means this is anger because it's blocked and the energy is shooting all around and it wants to express itself badly and so on. Can I bring that energy up while it's happening? Can I free that energy by letting go of what's causing it to be blocked? And I'm telling you, anger can become ecstasy. It just flows up inside. People told me they've experienced that. I experience it all the time. Just all of a sudden it starts this way. You feel it move down there. You just relax, let go, and all of a sudden you're filled with Shakti, filled with joy. Every single bit of energy is the same energy. Just like all the electricity flowing through a wire is the same electricity. But if you take it to a blender, it blends. Take it to a vacuum cleaner, it vacuums. Short circuit it shreds all over the place. The same electricity is doing all these good things in your house. Doesn't really do real good when you block it, does it? That's what you're doing inside of you. All this energy is in there. Spiritual, Shakti, Chi, call it whatever you want. All the energy is in there, but it's being blocked by this stuff you stored inside. So spirituality is about liberation. It is about freeing yourself from having to focus on this stuff and then devote your life to it. So as you let go, the energy comes up. Now we can go back to where I started. Why do we separate life into spiritual and worldly? When in reality, there is no division. Why is there no division? Because once you're doing this, once you commit yourself to say the meaning of my life is liberation, the meaning of my life is to free myself so I can enjoy every moment of life. You're not giving anything up. I've never taught renunciation. It has nothing to do with renunciation. I'm so sorry there's such a word. You have no right to renounce anything. The world is there. It's none of your business. Why are you renouncing? Because you can't handle it. How do you pick out what you're going to renounce? The stuff that freaks me out or the stuff that I really want. Come on, come to balance. It's all the same. It's just the world unfolding. All right? So instead, you come in and you say, here's the purpose of my life. I am going to handle life. That's your starting place. I'm going to handle it. You can't love it if you can't handle it. I'm going to handle life. But I can't learn. I found that at some point in my teachings, I realized, gee, they don't know they can learn this. It's like you go to calculus class, you learn calculus. You go to piano class, you play the scales, you learn piano. Go play tennis, you learn how to get server balls hit to you. You don't start off by saying, no, I can't do that, which is what every one of you want to say for this talk. Oh, I can't do that. You can do that. I can't do that. Of course you can't do that. You haven't learned. Now the question becomes, is it worth learning? Of course it's worth learning. You're talking about the entire quality of your life. So you learn. How do you learn? You practice. Wow, now all of a sudden it's not worldly and spiritual. It's that every moment of my life is practicing. Every moment of my life, something gets hit. Some energy stir up. Something's attractive. Something's repulsive. Some stuff from the past comes up. Yes or no? Good. Good. Mazel tov. I like it. Why? Because you're being given an opportunity to see if you can handle that. See if you can breathe when it's happening. See if you can relax. That's what I teach. My experience is that the highest thing to do is to relax when this stuff gets hit. You're sitting there at the table and nobody shows up and you feel self-conscious, you feel embarrassed. Relax. I can't. Yeah, you can. You just haven't learned how yet. Of course you can relax. You're in there. You just relax. But I know all about it, believe me. I've been through the ropes. You learn. When it comes up and you feel this disturbance, what has to happen inside of you is, good, I want to learn to handle this. It has freaked me out my entire life. I don't want to keep having this trouble. So now here's an opportunity to practice. Am I going to do perfect? You don't do perfect your first day of calculus. It doesn't matter that you be perfect. What matters is that is the purpose of your life. Buddhists call it intention. The intention is to handle this. The fact that I can't do it the first time. I didn't ride my bike without training wheels the first time, nor did you. Took falling down a few times to get a sense of balance. Fine. It's not a problem. Just let your intention be that every moment of every day, every single thing that comes in, I'm going to see if I can handle it. I'm going to relax, maybe do mantra, breathe, whatever you want to do, positive thinking. I can do this. I'll be okay with this. Whatever. Normally give you a hierarchy. First, notice it. Well, you may have to learn to meditate to notice it. Maybe it's so quick and strong that you lose yourself all the time. Meditation is very good. It's practicing being present. But I don't teach you have to meditate hours and hours a day to get liberated, because you don't. What you have to do is be able to handle the stuff that comes up inside of you. But first, you better be present. If you're not present, it's like not going to work. You can't get the work done when you don't go to work. You have to be in this seat where this talk is conscious in your mind all the time. The purpose of my life, every second of my life. Stuff is going to happen? Check. It's going to come in? Check. You're going to hit something usually, one way or another. You're going to cause something from strong to weak, right? I love that you work with the little ones. They all matter. It matters that the driver in front of you is driving a certain speed and is freaking you out. What is freaking me out? Why are you driving like that? Didn't you see the sign? It's ridiculous. Where'd you get your license? Oh my God, what am I going to do? I can't pass on. That's called freaking you out. You can't handle the driver in front of you. How about we start there? Relax. Understand that this is your training. You're being trained to handle yourself. And if you can handle yourself, all the spirituality is going to happen spontaneously, all by itself. If instead you go out there and manipulate and control, you just kept it inside of you. You reinforce your addiction to this garbage inside. So you start working with it every moment. So I said, there is no distinction between your spiritual life and your worldly life. They are the same thing. They are practice. They are practice in letting go. Practice in being able to handle yourself. Practice in being present. So first you have to be present. That's your business how you get there. The more you let go, the more present you will be. It builds on itself. First you be present. Second, at all times you remember your intention. My intention is whatever happens in here, I'm letting it go. What if it really hurt? It means you really need to let it go because it means you got some real deep stuff in there. The other thing I want to tell you, which is very inspiring, help you, is this thing called extrapolation. That's not just in math or logic. There's extrapolation. What does that mean? Sally didn't say hello to me, and it made me feel weird. And somebody noticed she didn't say hello, and it made me feel really self-conscious. All right, fine. I can handle this. And you work with yourself. I'm telling you, that amount of discomfort that you felt, lots of things can make you feel that type of discomfort, that amount of discomfort. If you can handle that, you're going to find out that anything else during the day or for the rest of your life that generates that type, not even the same type, but just that level of discomfort, you can let go of. Because you practiced. When you practice Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star on the piano, there are movements of your fingers that Beethoven will have you doing later. It's all building on each other. So you extrapolate out that in this area I used to have trouble. Now because I handled Sally or Mary or sitting at the table or the driver in front of me, don't belittle that stuff. If you can handle the driver in front of you all the time, you're almost there. You're almost enlightened, all right? What I really found, you ready? If you can handle the weather, you're like 95% it's over. Why? Because the discomfort the weather causes you. Oh, it's cold. Oh my God, why does it have to be so cold? Look at what you're doing. If you can't handle the weather, how are you going to handle the girlfriend or the boyfriend or that somebody said something you didn't like? Because that one you think you can do something about. This one you know you can't do anything about. But you still are bothering yourself about it. How about we stop doing that? Every day of every moment of your life is a spiritual experience if you use it that way. It's here. You're doing this work on yourself. So learn to be comfortable with being uncomfortable, and then you'll be comfortable. If too many people get in the elevator while you're in there and it ruins your day, you got some work to do on yourself. In other words, you got this thing that things are supposed to be the way I want. No, they're not. Things are not supposed to be the way you want. You just made up what you want, and why would things be that way? Things are supposed to be the way they are. It doesn't mean you have to leave them that way. It doesn't mean you can't work with them, but you better start with acceptance. Because that's reality. If you want to go fly, your Wright brothers, learn to do the first flight, you better embrace gravity. You can't say, I don't like gravity, it keeps me from flying, I don't want to talk about it. You can't do that, but that's what you're doing with all this stuff. You have to say, I am willing to embrace the fact that there are things that happen in the world. So, like I said, weather's wonderful. I'm not even going to get into the whole discussion. I dare you, I challenge you to handle the weather. You're ruining your inner state because the weather's the way it is. How about we stop doing that? And because you ruin your inner state, you got to find a boyfriend or a girlfriend or go travel or take a vacation because you made yourself a mess. Let me tell you a secret. A great being doesn't know what the word vacation means. You need a vacation because you can't handle your life. By definition, I got to get out of here. If you are filled with love and joy inside, and that's what you're feeling all the time, wherever you go, there you are. It's wonderful. Doesn't make a difference. You sit in a room, that's yogis sit in caves for years. It's great. I love it. Don't feel sorry for them. So basically, you catch on that the reason there's no difference between spirituality and every moment of your life is because every moment of your life is your friend. It is teaching you to handle yourself. And it's very varied, isn't it? There's lots of different things going on all the time. Okay? And it gives you this opportunity. Can I relax? Can I let go? Can I accept first? Now, If you accept first, it doesn't mean you don't have an obligation to work with things, to help things, to raise things. Activism, call it whatever you want. But you can't be doing it because you can't handle it. If you're sitting there fighting and trying to change the world because you can't handle it the way it is, you're just part of the problem. There are going to be people on the other side who disagree with you completely, and they're trying to make the world be their way. Let's go to war. Let's go to war about how to create peace. That's what's going to happen. If, on the other hand, you've worked with yourself enough to where you understand people are different, they have different views because they went through different experiences, and you're able to handle your discomfort or dislike of things that don't match what you like. You have a way you want it to be? Sure. Do you care? No. That's a spiritual person. You're going to lie and sit there and say that your psyche is not the sum of your learned experiences. It is. You don't have to keep them in there. You have to suppress them, but you're going to be different. You have different views and different things. Is it okay with you that not everybody agrees with you? Of course. Why would they agree with me? They didn't have the experiences I did. That's a high being. Do you then, because you're okay, feel you would like to bring beauty into the world? Of course. But not because you're not okay. Do you see the distinction? And that's what they're all out there doing. Do you understand that? On both sides, right? They're just out there. I'm not okay with the way it is, and I'm going to go out there and make it be the way that makes me comfortable. I can't handle this. I can't handle that. Everybody's saying that, aren't they? And so I'm going to go do this and that. You get yourself together. That's what Christ said, didn't he? Don't worry about the splinter in somebody else's eye. Worry about the log in yours. So basically you get to the point you realize, I better get busy in here so that I can be the exception. I can be the person that the world fits inside of me without freaking me out. If you expect there to be peace outside, but you can't have peace inside of you when you look at the outside, there's not a chance in the world there can be peace out there. You have to be the proof that this person can think this way, this person could have done that, this person doesn't believe in that, and it fits inside of you, and you're at peace. I understand. We're all different. I understand people have different views. I understand people have different experiences. Yep, fits inside of me. Now, what can you do to help? What can you do to raise it? What can you do to make it a more beautiful place? I told you, the highest life you can live is that every moment that passes before you is better off because it did. You can't get higher than that. That's activism. That every moment, every person, every event, everything that passes before you, somehow you raised it. What happens is when you're done with yourself, believe it or not, you can be done with yourself. Why? Because you can handle yourself and it falls away. You're done with yourself. Your mind and heart will always, every millisecond of your life, anything that happens, the first thing that comes up inside of you, can I be of assistance? Can I be of help? Is there something I can do? You can say it out loud, but literally just everything. Is there something I can do to raise it as it passes by? So now you have a better idea, the fact that every moment of your life is spiritual. There's no distinction between what time you put aside for spirituality and every moment of your life, if you want to live it this way. You have, I hope, a much better idea of what liberation means. Freedom from yourself, the ability to handle yourself and not bring that outside, but bring you outside. You are very beautiful. I don't care what you've ever done. You in there are beautiful, beautiful beyond comprehension. You're pure love, pure light. When the Bible says, the Old Testament, go back to the Old Testament, man was created in the image of God. Someday you're going to find out it's the truth. Christ found out. That's why he said, my Father and I are one. Buddha found out. He called it nirvana. The great masters found out. You're going to find out that the nature of self, the nature of your consciousness, is divine. It's spiritual. It's filled with love and joy and light and expansiveness. It's incomprehensible. But it is staring at something that's not so hot, which is your personal mind and your personal heart. And they got messed up because you stored all this in here. So free yourself. Work your way out. Yoga means union. That's the Sanskrit meaning of that word, union. What does that mean? You let go of your personal self to merge back into the overall. All right. Hope you understand these things. Any effort you put out works, and it makes the world a better place. Very good. Jai Gurudev.